Welcome to the OutSystems User Group for Sydney. My name's Aaron, so myself and my colleague João Mello will be hosting tonight, and we're talking about creating rich business intelligence dashboard in OutSystems using OData APIs. So this basic structure that we're looking to do tonight. So basically, I'm going to hand over to João to basically take you through a presentation and demonstration of things I'd like to talk about. So a bit after 7 o'clock Australian time, apologies for speaking Australian time, to our international viewers, that we'll be doing a bit of a Kahoot quiz at the end, and then we'll wrap up from there. So João, let's jump in.
Thanks, Aaron. If I may, I'd like to share my screen, so I'll take over. Cecilia, and bring my screen up with a nice slide deck. Pretty proud of it. Used some nice icons and images. Really liked it. Had fun.
That looks good. That's good.
Cool. So, yeah, guys, as Aaron said, the purpose of this event today is to walk you through how we can build rich, fully featured, nice BI dashboards using Power BI on top of OutSystems applications. What we mean here by rich BI dashboard is what you understand when you refer to a business intelligence dashboard with some charts, with useful information to generate insights for business decision makers to work on top of. So in the session today, we're gonna go all the way to build a fully featured Power BI dashboard. But before we get there, I would like to ask a question, propose some reflection. And I'm happy to open the floor for someone that wants to come forward and answer the question. And the question is, why do we build apps? And I'm not focusing on the OutSystems universe, of course. I mean, in the software industry, what's the reason? What's the purpose of building apps?
Pop your answers in the chat on the right-hand side there.
That's a good idea. Thank you. You'll have the chance to post your questions as we move along. But I would like to start this reflection, connecting people and companies. Thanks, Cecilia. Fulfill a need. Nice. Make life easier. That's a good one. That's a philosophical purpose behind softwares. Service a business requirement, address the needs to business audience to satisfy a certain goal in the form of a process, transaction, or search. That's a really good one. You should write articles, Aniket. That's a really good way of putting the answer. What else, guys? Anyone else? I'll give you one more minute. And the idea is really to create this environment where we can reflect. All right, let's move on. There you go. Implementing the DIKW cycle, since we're talking dashboards. Interesting. Resolve a problem. Okay, that's important. That's really important. All right, so guys, I summarized. I think we're all of us here are right. All you guys are right. There's always these immediate needs, save time in manual work, to automate tasks. That's a good reason. I brought my own biased explanation here to why we build apps. And the reason is it's all about data, right? We build applications to provide business with information that they can then turn into insights to make better decisions. right? It's all about making decisions, informed decisions. What we mean by better decisions is an informed decision. Multiple managers can make calls based on their instincts or based on market changes or direction. But most of those decisions are better made if they're backed on data. And for this, it's pretty common to have business building dashboards, building reports. Normally, they need business managers need reports being generated off the back of applications. That's how business can interact with the result of the applications and generate meaningful change of directions in any company, in any business. So that's really the purpose. That's really why we build data. And what does data mean in the context of a business oriented solution, right? Data is really the most granular element. Normally, applications are built to allow for data input. That's when an end user gets data into a system, a web application, or a mobile application. And business needs to have that data converted into insights for decisions. That's nowadays the concept of data analytics is pretty common. We're not going to delve into the concepts or the technicalities of analytics because it's a really hands-on tutorial kind of event today. But what we try to represent here is that through process of analyzing and transforming data, business can get insight. And insight is what's used to for informed decisions to be made. This is an example, a very interesting yet simple example of a BI, what we refer to a rich dashboard, BI dashboard, built on top of the Power BI. The screen you're seeing now is a Power BI dashboard built on top of the methods of the mechanism we're going to present today. And the purpose of this session is for us to rebuild this very same dashboard we're seeing on the screen now. We're going to build it on the fly, all right? But then most of you must be asking, but how, right? How can we get Power BI connecting to OutSystems applications? And the South Park fans, I'm pretty sure they relate to this line.
Particularly strong because OutSystems doesn't support OData out of the box either.
Yeah. So I think the concept of what we're trying to explore here today is the solution that most of the platforms in the market use to have the data available for business, for insights, for data-driven decisions is through connectors, right? Of course, I'm referring to the most popular representation of a connector, but the concept is the same in our world, right? In the modern IT, modern technology world, we're using connectors to make two ends talk to each other through certain protocol. They need to use some sort of standard, some sort of language, so that they can exchange information. And I brought a few examples of some rich marketplace around the world with different technologies. This is an example of the MuleSoft Composer solution with the connectors they offer just in the Salesforce ecosystem. For the ones that don't know what MuleSoft is an API gateway. They're an orchestration layer that normally offers connectors and easy to use, no code or low code like interfaces to build APIs. That's a very responsible way of summarizing what MuleSoft does. They're a very powerful platform. And these are the connectors that are easy to use, easy to build a solution with. And it's pretty much a no-code standard. You can connect a MuleSoft API to Jira, to Xero, to Box, to Slack, Asana, Microsoft Teams, and it's all based on connectors. Another good example here is who here have not heard about Microsoft Dataverse? Can you raise your hands on Google Meet so that we understand how popular this platform is? So who's raising your hands? You didn't hear about Microsoft Dataverse, right? So what is Microsoft Dataverse? No, it's not the next Spider-Man movie. It's just business, an enterprise solution offered by Microsoft for a few years now. It's part of the solution suite that OutSystems calls Microsoft Power Platform. Microsoft Dataverse is a universal connector to all the Microsoft business solutions. So Microsoft SharePoint, Microsoft Dynamics, both CRM and ERP, Microsoft Healthcare Solutions, all the business solutions built by Microsoft, even Office 365, all the business solutions built by Microsoft have their data available through this universal data hub called Dataverse. And the way Dataverse provides developers and the Microsoft community the capability of connecting the Microsoft business solutions with the world, with other platforms, is, again, through connectors. All these icons you see on the screen are popular platforms that you can, with a plug and play, with a couple of clicks, you can have a Microsoft business application connected to all these platforms: Box, Blogger, OneDrive, Outlook.com, Microsoft Forms, SharePoint, with the use of a couple of clicks. That's really the concept behind the connectors movement happening in the world. Another good example is Dynatrace. Dynatrace is an apps analytics platform that helps any developer instrument any web or mobile application to collect usage data, so that you can monitor performance, crashes, overall health of web and mobile applications. And they also support a wide, comprehensive set of connectors that can be used to augment the value the platform offers. It's just another example of the Dynatrace's connectors marketplace. That's what they call Software Intelligence Hub. And when it comes to connectors, look, even old school platforms and technologies are adopting this concept as well. SAP has a really robust and powerful data hub, the SAP Data Gateway, that also offers connectivity capabilities, interoperability resources. It's used in enterprise solutions. SAP is the most popular ERP in the world, the most known in the enterprise universe. And what SAP offers with its gateway is a centralized data exposure. So SAP admins can control any single API available in an SAP ecosystem through a centralized panel. So it offers enterprise-grade governance. They do it by using a standard protocol called OData. OData, I'm going to talk in more details about OData in a few slides. OData is really the language or the protocol SAP uses to communicate with external platforms. So either exposing or consuming APIs, external platforms can talk to SAP using this language. And the use cases are really endless. You can use the SAP Data Gateway for analytic scenarios, building BI dashboards on top of the APIs, but you can also use it for interoperability scenarios. Our team at Phoenix has been working with a lot of scenarios where we need to integrate OutSystems with SAP, and we've been massively using the OData connector, the SAP Data Gateway, through the OData protocol to connect all kinds of solutions with different SAP modules. As you can see, the value proposition of the SAP OData connector is to support all kinds of interoperability scenarios, including do it enterprise with other corporate and enterprise solutions, but also with social network and modern applications. All right, and last but not least, of course, we couldn't miss the mothership. OutSystems has also a concept of connectors, right? We have in the OutSystems Forge, our open source marketplace, we have a way to navigate through several different connector solutions that allow OutSystems developers to build their apps connected to common popular platforms in the market, from social network like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the way to enterprise-grade solutions like SAP, Salesforce, and even using artificial intelligence, machine learning solutions, cloud-based solutions like Workato, AWS services, Azure services, and also all the way to SaaS solutions like Zendesk, HubSpot. There's a really an endless combination of connectors that can be used to connect OutSystems applications to external platforms. Now, let's focus a bit in the OutSystems world and what we normally do, what we normally need to go through in terms of providing business with BI dashboard capability, right? First thing is, of course, you need to understand requirements. You need to understand what indicators business after. Those indicators are going to be assessed in terms of matching with the data model behind the OutSystems applications. That data model needs to have the minimum data structure that will provide the business with the information they need. Once you understand the KPIs or the business indicators that need to be monitored, but from a business perspective, you need to design a solution, right? Because you need to get that data out of OutSystems. It needs to be exposed so that BI platforms or data staging, data warehouse solutions can extract the data out of OutSystems. To design a solution like that, you need to normally specify contracts. You need to specify your interfaces, how the APIs are going to be exposed, what data structure is going to be offered, what's the security model, how users or external platforms are going to authenticate against the OutSystems applications or services. This all needs to be encapsulated in a solution design. Once you're happy, once your client is happy, once everyone knows what to do, you start building APIs, right? And who doesn't like dropping orange balls in OutSystems, right? But one thing is, it's easy to drop orange balls, creating easy SQL scripts and have APIs built. But whenever you need to manage scenarios where, for example, what if I need to paginate the results? What if I need to filter results? I want to offer external parties the ability to filter by any field in the output. What if I want to have a different sorting strategy? I want to, whoever's requesting data from OutSystems, I want them to have the ability to sort by name or sort by date. This all comes in play when you're designing APIs, and that's the hidden effort whenever you're thinking of building low-code-based APIs. And then, of course, after it's built, you go all the way through the development lifecycle, right? You need to involve testers to make sure that the API is working according to the design. You need to have business people involved doing user acceptance testing. And then after those 5 key milestones, you have BIs available off the back of it. Of course, what I'm depicting here is the expected, the best practice. I'm pretty sure that everyone here in the room are following the best practices and doing the best they can to follow a process based on successful formulas. Considering that, let's do a demo. I'm gonna come back to the slide deck in a sec after we do the demo. But before we jump on the demo, I wanted to provide some context. For the demo, what we're going to use today is an application, a sample app that is available in the OutSystems Forge. If you search for order management application, you see that application is ready to be used free of charge. It's a sample app provided by OutSystems in the Forge. We're using this application as an example. Only has enough dummy data, sample data, for us to extract our dashboards. And what this application is it's a mini CRM. It's a mini customer relationship management system. Through this sample app, you can manage orders like sales orders. You can see a list of products. You can have a products catalog. You can manage opportunities as well, and accounts, your customer accounts. That's the idea. I just brought a quick screenshot of the landing page, which is a simple dashboard. In this case, it's a simple dashboard built with OutSystems. It's just using the OutSystems charts component, which is interesting as a landing page, but it doesn't provide rich BI dashboarding experience. Right? And this is a simple transactional page in the system, just a list of orders with the specific status, users when they're required, and they can be filtered by different statuses. So these are just two of the examples. And for the demo that we're going to kick off in a sec, we're going to rebuild the dashboard that you're seeing on the screen at the moment. All right. So let me get my cheat sheet together, and let's hope that the demo gods are with us today. Let's jump to the solution we want to demo and that we used to create these dashboards. The solution you're seeing at the moment here is a solution that we built at Phoenix. It's called Hubway Connect, and it's used to expose OutSystems data through APIs using the OData protocol as I just shared. So it's using the same standard as platforms in the market like SAP, Microsoft, Oracle are using. And through a configurable interface, you can create APIs to make the data available to the web to be consumed by dashboard platforms. So let me jump right into creating an API. What you're seeing at the moment is the landing page. It's the list of the existing projects. Let me just jump right into creating a new project. I'm gonna give it the name of OutSystems User Group Orders Management. It's gonna give me a service name, which is the name I'm going to use to test to consume the API that will be exposed out of it. I have a quick overview of what the key information for the project and the API are. Some security, some auditing configuration, the testing link that I can hand over to the BI or the consumer on the client side. There's some versioning elements as well. In this case, as I just created a project, it's sitting in draft, but I can publish it. I can decommission projects, and I can have multiple versions of a project. Let me jump to the main functionality. In this case, I'm building an API, a project that will expose an API with the order management application data. So I'm going to filter by the modules I know where the tables, where the entities in the application I want to expose are based on. I'm going to select all the entities I want to use in the dashboard I'm building. In this case, as I said, they have all the basic, the well-known entities in an order management system, like an order table, an order item, which is going to hold the list of products that were part of the sales order, order status, product, opportunities, country, account. If I add all these entities to my to the API, I'm going to select product category as well, because I know I'm going to need them in the dashboard I'm about to create. I want to see if the data model I'm creating is making sense. So I want to just see a visual representation of the data model to make sure that all the entities are connected together. And by the looks of it, they make sense. I think it's a sound data model. That's all the tables I want to have connected. So order, we'll have a list of order items. An order item is nothing more than a product added to an order. And order items will have quantity, discount, amount, created by, which is the user who created the order, product category as well, that will group products together. An order will have a status. Statuses can be draft, approved, submitted, all the basic status. An order is also linked to an account. That's why we store the company details, like the name, address, country, city. The account will also be linked to a country. The account can have, apart from orders, the account can have opportunities. So these are leads that didn't really become orders yet. And they're tracked here, and they can be classified in opportunity type and status, stage, sorry. So that's my data model. I think it's pretty much what I want. Let's jump straight to the dashboard creation part of the demo. So I'm going to bring Power BI to my screen. I hope everyone is seeing it fine. Please call out, guys, if you're having a hard time to read something on my screen. I'm happy to adjust the size. All right, so what we're going to use in Power BI to connect to the Hubway APIs is the Power BI's OData connector. Hubway exposes APIs using the OData standard. I'm going to delve into details around OData in a couple of slides from now, in a moment. But let's just assume that we know how OData works for now. Let's just jump right into the end result of the demo. I'm going to paste the link of the API created through Hubway. And the moment I hit OK, what Power BI is going to do is, as Power BI can speak OData, it's going to talk to Hubway and understand what entities are exposed through the Hubway API. So these entities are pretty much the entities I just selected when I created the Hubway project. Account, country, opportunity, opportunity stage, opportunity type, order. Please raise your hands, guys, if it's too small for you. I'm happy to increase the size. Order item, status, product, and product category. These are the entities available in the API. And as you can see, as I click on the entities, Power BI is bringing the data. This data is already coming from the Hubway APIs. It's live data, real-time data. The moment I click load, what Power BI is going to do is it's going to bring the data from these entities to the internal cache. So it's caching the data in the Power BI internal database so that whenever I get access to a dashboard, it doesn't hit the APIs in runtime, the APIs in the production environment, so that it doesn't impact performance or user experience. Whenever I'm seeing the chart in Power BI, it's actually consuming the data from its own cache. From this moment on, what we need to do is in Power BI, we go to the data model and review how the entities were created. That's something we need to do some sort of manual fixing, because the way that Power BI interprets the relationships, it doesn't interpret according to the data model. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to replace all the relationships with the proper relationships between the tables. I could be editing them as well, but I like drag and drop stuff, as I appreciate most of you guys also like. I could have also disabled the automatic relationship creation, but of course, as you notice, I didn't. Bear with me. It's gonna take a sec. You know that part of the demo that you didn't rehearse well? I am right at that stage. Right, so just to recreate the relationships in my database model, I know that I need to connect order status with order. Easy, that part is done. I know that I need to connect order item with order. I also know that I need to connect opportunity with account. With the ID here. I need to connect account country ID with country. Move it to the back here. I need also to connect product with order item. Product ID. There you go. Then opportunity. I'm feeling like I'm selling Power BI.
This is the definition of opportunity, a time or set of circumstances.
Sorry, guys. Google's trying to talk to me. Must be needy today. Opportunity type and opportunity stage. There you go. Product category. I need to link it with product. And what we're missing is order also can be linked to opportunity. There you go. So now we have all the relationships in our data model done in Power BI. If we go to data to the data previewer mode, you can see that you select the table and Power BI is already bringing all the data from its own cache. Now let's go to the juice of it. Let's build the visual of our report. Back to the reference we have, we need to build the first visual element here, which is going to bring the amount of orders sitting in draft, right? So in order to create that visual element on the screen, we use the cards element, visual element. Then we just need to add the count of order ID. And then create a filter. As I created all the relationships amongst the entities, anything I drag to my visual element will be crossed automatically by Power BI. Now I want to filter this number per status. So what I did was I moved this order status label to the filter section, and I'm gonna select draft only. There you go. So we have our very first visual element in the screen. Let's go to our reference again. We want to have the amount of orders sitting in negotiation. So it's another card element. Let me drag it to the screen, put it in my position. What I want is the amount of orders. So it's automatically summing up all the orders. But again, or the total amount in all the orders. But again, I want to filter by specific combination of status. In negotiation, by in negotiation, I mean anything that's draft or submitted. Okay. Let's rename this element here. So amount in negotiation, that we have a beautiful oops, sorry. Yeah. Number of orders in draft. Okay, then I need to rename it in draft. Orders in draft. Okay. And the Next element we want to put in is the number of accounts created in the last X days. So we're gonna need another card element, drag it into the space, and I want the number of accounts. In this case, I'm gonna just drag the ID. It's gonna give me accounts automatically, and I want to filter it by date. So I'm gonna drag the created on filter, use a relative date, and say that in the last 30 days, that's the number I want to present. Of course, we're using a pretty outdated database, so it's gonna be blank because it's not gonna have everything I need. So just increase the number so we have a beautiful looking dashboard in the last. Seems to be a pretty old database, actually. What's happening? All right. In the last 3,000 days, we have 14 accounts. I was running into some issues with the button that wouldn't, the apply button wasn't enabled. That's okay. Microsoft can have buggy applications as well. And then another visual element here, orders awaiting approval. So that's just a subsection of the orders in draft. So I'll just duplicate this one. And instead of selecting draft, instead of filtering by whatever is in draft and submit it, I want everything that's waiting approval, which means submitted. I have 8 orders at the moment. Let me reduce the size of the element so I can fit another one in. All right. And then the other one is we want the most popular product, right? The most popular product. So for that item, I need to do some change in the way Power BI is bringing information. So again, we want a card element as well. But before we go there, I'm gonna create a calculated field in the order item table. Create a new column. I'm gonna call it product name and do a join with the table product in the field name. Okay. In that case, we want the sorry, I didn't describe what exactly we were building. We want to bring the most popular item. So the item with the biggest quantity in the order item table. That's why I joined it in the order item table, because we want to bring the product name with the top quantity. So I want to get the top n quantity, top one. Okay, and just rename most popular product. All right, in this case, it's an in-ear audio bud product, and there you go. So we built the first row in our BI dashboard in a few minutes. Don't know if someone is time tracking, but hey, I'm an OutSystems MVP, not a Power BI MVP. So guys, bear with me. All right, next step is we want a bar chart here, actually a column chart, to have the total of opportunities per country and opportunity stage, right? So we know that we need to bring data from the opportunity table. We need to use the columns chart and cross countries and stage. All right, so that is easy. Let's grab use the clustered column chart element. Let me just increase it a bit. We're going to need some more space. Then let's go to the opportunity table. And I want the number of opportunities. So I'll drag the ID to the values column, to value axis. And I want to cross countries with stages. So I'll bring the opportunity stage table to the legends field. They do it right, opportunity stage. So these are the stages: closed won, investigation, negotiation, and the countries on the x-axis. The data might have varied a bit, but I think we're pretty much on spot, right? We have the stages at the top and the countries at the bottom. All right. So apparently Afghanistan is buying a lot of products from our order management application. That's cool. All right. Next one. Let's use a pie chart with opportunity type in the last X days. Sorry, I think I got what I did right. What I did wrong. I brought opportunity type, not stage. Sorry about that. Okay, that's good. All right, so now we have a column chart of stages. Now we want a pie chart to cross information of also opportunities per type, right? So we go to opportunities, get the ID in the values field, and then cross that with opportunity type in the legend. There you go. Done. All right. Next one, bar chart with customer value. So it's total amount per customer. Let's use the bar chart here, the clustered bar chart. Put it in the right-hand side. And then bring total amount from the order table, from the other entity, and cross that with account name, company name. Sorry, what am I doing? Sorry, total amount in the x-axis. Cool. So now we're gonna have company in the y-axis, whereas we're gonna have the sum of total amount in the x-axis. Just reviewing with my cheat sheet, making sure I'm doing everything right. Yeah, it should be all right. We review why we're getting only one blank company. We'll review it in a minute. Now, moving on to the next element, we want to add a table, list of opportunities. All right, pretty much with the basic fields, company, name of the opportunity, amount, and probability. So we can also bring a list to have a report kind of aspect to our dashboard to have a more transactional view. And I only want to bring, let's say, ID, name of the opportunity, amount, and probability. You see that Power BI identified probability as a number, so it sums up automatically. I just don't want it summarized. I want to have the element, the data. What else did we have here? Our company. So Power BI is crossing the data, just bring the company fields all together. And there you go. Now I see the list of opportunities. If I want to sort that by amount, just click on the column. I have a live preview in the Power BI design screen. And I can also bring the date the opportunity was created on. All right, there you go. Look at it. As it's a date, Power BI splits it to different components. I can also say I don't want to see the quarter, just want year, month, and day. Old school. All right. And then last one. I'm lost in tabs. List of orders. Pretty much the same as opportunities with some of the orders fields. So if we go back to the dashboard, create a new table, get from the order entity, and get the code, get the total amount, and then cross that with order status. I'll bring the label, not the description. There you go. And then when the order was created, automatically summing up the total per order. And there you go. We have pretty much. I'm going to Google. Sorry, guys. We have pretty much the same dashboard that we presented in the slide deck, built in Power BI in a few minutes.
So let me give you some context, folks. Let's hit pause there and just think about everything that you've seen so far. So ultimately, at the end of the day, you're seeing the ultimate value of the OutSystems platform and the OutSystems Forge. As OutSystems developers, which the bulk of you folks are, the two most boring things that a developer can do are bug fixing and making reports, right? So when you see what you've seen so far, the couple of things that you notice is, number one, how many times did João open up the OutSystems IDE to make any of this happen? Like 0. There was no programming involved at all. This is part of what's so powerful about OutSystems, right? Not necessarily with small customers, but for medium to large enterprise customers, they're going to naturally want to have reports and visualization of data and things like that on top of the apps that they commission to be built in OutSystems, which puts data in. And so what João's been able to show you is that via the OutSystems Forge, which gives you an introduction to Hubway Connect, which you can follow up to connect this sort of ability, connector ability in OutSystems, is that customers, they love this stuff. Yeah, that demo that they saw from João, they're just going, they know how to do stuff in Power BI that quickly, and they know it's that powerful that they can work with one static data set that they've brought in and then build very complicated views like that very quickly. And they love it for that reason, and then they trust it. And so it doesn't have to be an either or solution. Like you either do it all on OutSystems or you either do all of your digital transformation use cases somewhere else. It can really be the case that your customers who are really good at doing stuff with the data that they get out of their databases can be highly enabled, particularly in these medium to large enterprises where they have whole teams of people that do business intelligence and dashboarding and reporting and all that sort of stuff with things like this, and they're really good at it. All they need is the data to work with. And for them to be able to come to you, the OutSystems developer, and say, that's what I want to do. And you go, easy, install this application connector here, configure a couple of API programming views like you saw that João did that in minutes, done. And your customer is highly enabled. And it makes the OutSystems platform stickier and addictive, that they want to be building even more applications in OutSystems for putting data in when they know they can get the data out that quickly and that easily.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the benefit for you guys in terms of like the value that's being generated from learning the ability of this stuff to be here, because so many other developers in other programming languages that you guys are effectively competing with, they spend time stuffing around making the things that make this happen. But OutSystems is so uniquely placed that even building things from scratch are super quick, as we know in OutSystems. And then it gets even quicker via the Forge, the kind of things you can just download it and install and be highly enabled, like João showed you, in minutes to be able to do something like that, right?
Exactly.
So imagine yourself being João doing that whole presentation. So he spent about 30 minutes doing that. A sales pitch to a customer might be about 30 minutes. So you can imagine, like, when you're proving the value that you bring as an OutSystems developer to your customer, where you can not only talk the talk about this is what I could do for you, you could essentially do something like João just did, where you actually do it in about 30 minutes and go, so what you're talking about wanting is something like this? And they're like, oh, wow, you're a stud. I definitely want to work with you, you know? So it's like the OutSystems platform is speaking for you to make you look excellent and make your customers really want to continue to work with you.
Yeah, looking good in front of the customer is always a good idea. It's always boost in our career. But I would like to go a bit deeper into, and Cecilia, let me know how much time I have, please. I just prepared a few more slides because we have the best part in the event, the Kahoot in the end. And I hope this time I make it to the top 5 at least. Wish I don't suck in OutSystems as I do in Kahoot. But yeah, I just wanted to open up a bit the bonnet and show you what made it possible to build a Power BI dashboard so easily. And one of the key elements is the use of OData. As I mentioned before, OData is this protocol that allows different technologies and platforms to talk to each other using this common protocol, common language. OData, and by the way, important to pay attention to some details as we, again, have the Kahoot in the end. So OData is this open standard protocol created by Microsoft over 10 years ago. It now belongs to the Oasis Foundation, so it makes it an open source standard, and it's available to be adopted by any platform in the market. Over 100 different solutions adopted in their core strategy, including Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, Salesforce. All these big vendors are adopting OData. And that was something that we identified as missing in the OutSystems product roadmap. OutSystems doesn't have a way of exposing data using OData. Some of you guys might have noticed that Mendix, our partners in the local universe, they do have an OData solution, the Mendix Data Hub. And that's something we've been working on to augment the OutSystems platform offer. OData is pretty much this. That's what you've seen on the screen as an example for the technical people in the session. It's just an example of how you can, for example, retrieve data from an OData API. We've seen in the top here REST requests URL. So it's pretty much an HTTP connection to a REST API. You're going to reference the name of the entity in the URL. And then as a result, in the response payload, you have the list of records. That's an example of fetching a list of people records. The data is automatically formatted in the example we're using here is automatically formatted in JSON. And the connection to the underlying data structure is automatic. So you don't need to build custom-based APIs for every single interface you want to expose. Let me jump to the Hubway interface and show you some examples. What I opened in the screen now, and bear in mind, guys, it didn't challenge me with passwords because I have it cached in my browser session. But of course, it's protected with authentication. It would challenge with username and password. But what we're seeing at the moment, I just clicked on the testing link for an API, and it takes me to this index, to this landing page. It's a documentation. It's a live documentation. What we're seeing here is the list of entities. Each element we see in this JSON is the list of entities that are exposed through the Hub OData API. This is what gives Power BI the ability to list the entities that are available in this API. Another interesting component of the OData technology, this is part of the OData protocol. It's a OData standard. Is the metadata URL. Through the metadata URL, you have a technical documentation of all the entities exposed through the API. So you see the list of entities, and for each entity, the list of fields. Which one is the primary key, all the fields and their data types, integer, string, Boolean, whether the mandatory or not, and the relationships. So you can use the relationships properties, the navigation properties, which is on data standard, to implement joins in the way you request data, you retrieve data from the APIs. So let me run a few examples here. If I want to, for example, have the list of orders coming from my OSUG orders management API, I just need to get the name of the entity and append it to the end of the URL. That's how the OData protocol works. What I see is the list of orders being exposed right in the response. If I want to filter so that I see, for example, the order number 1 with the ID 1, I know that as I'm filtering by the primary key, I'm always going to have one object in return. So these are the attributes in the order number 1. But if I want to use more advanced filtering strategies, for example, if I want to filter orders, but that have the status ID equals to 1, I know that 1 means draft. In this case, I only see orders that are sitting in draft. You see that I started on the order number 42. If I want to see orders, but already joining with status, the response will give back to me the order records already joined, merged with their respective statuses. I can also combine expand, which is what I just demonstrated, with filters. So for example, if I want to see the list of orders joined or expanded with their statuses, and also filter orders that have the status number 3, which is submitted, that's how I get to see all the submitted orders along with their statuses. Think of these scenarios I'm demonstrating now in interoperability scenarios. You have a client application that will need to have orders filtering by status or by any field available in the output. What I'm doing right now is I'm filtering orders where the total amount is greater than 1,000. And in this case, I only get orders where the total amount over 1,000. We can also implement pagination. So imagine that, for example, I don't want to get the full payload. So imagine, of course, I'm using sample data here. I only have 60 orders in this particular database. But imagine that I have an entity with millions, thousands, or hundreds of thousands, or even millions of records. It wouldn't be smart to just retrieve all the data at once. What you can use is use the OData query options to implement pagination. So in this case, I'm retrieving the top 3 records, and I only have 3 records in the response. And I can combine the top option with a skip operator. If I want a page with three elements and I want to skip the 10 first elements, that's what I get. So I only have 3 elements, 3 orders, and starting with the number 11. I can also customize the output and say, I'm not interested in all these fields. I want to reduce the size of the payload so that I have a more performatic integration, and I can provide users with a better user experience. I can use the select operator to filter, to define what attributes I want in the output. And then in this case, as you can see, the payload is way shorter. That's the idea of the OData protocol. Hubway was built with the vision of bringing this support to OutSystems, to the OutSystems platform, to bring the support of OData, and to provide rich BI dashboards. That's the main use case, but it can also be explored for integration scenarios. Back to our first view, which, in the blue flow we're seeing here is what it takes currently to have dashboards of OutSystems applications. What you see at the bottom is the compressed process that we can have as a result of adopting a solution that can automate the exposure of APIs using OData. The idea is that we compressed the design, dev, and test into a no-code like API configuration. This is an architecture representation of the Hubway solution. I won't get into too many details here, but the idea is that Hubway uses OData to expose data especially to mainly 3 different scenarios. An enterprise data staging scenario where not only the visualization tools will benefit from data from out of OutSystems applications, but the customers can benefit from having a robust enterprise-grade data staging platform. So they can use a data lake solution or data warehouse solution like Azure data warehouse, Snowflake, any kind of known data warehouse in the market. Most of the most popular platforms support OData, so they would retrieve data, store it in a robust enterprise-grade data staging solution, and then have all the data visualization tools connecting to a staging solution. Another scenario is for ad hoc reporting, when you don't need to handle with high volume of data. You can have, as I demonstrated today, you can have visualization solutions like Power BI, Tableau, or even Excel. They all support OData, and they can connect straight to the APIs, as I just demonstrated today. And scenario 3 for interoperability scenarios, where you can use the OData query options to retrieve data and even create or update data. So you can send information all the way to the OutSystems API layer, also using the same standard. And this is just a real use case that we've been adopting. That's coming from one of the clients using OutSystems and that adopted Hubway. And as you can see, it's a pretty complex kind of environment. They adopt some AWS services, including AWS Glue as the ETL tool that is responsible for retrieving the data from all these data sources, including SAP, Salesforce, and OutSystems through Hubway. Glue is the tool that's responsible for running the incremental synchronization data, dumping data into an Amazon S3 bucket, and Snowflake in consuming that data to do aggregations, data merging, and mashup. And then Tableau in the visualization point of the data ingestion flow. That's what we had to show today, guys. I really hope it was productive. For the ones who want more information about Hubway, there's a QR code, easy to access to have access to the direct website. Hubway Connect is the solution we built on top of OutSystems to make the data exposure easier. Reach out to us if you have any questions. We're happy to provide you with any information. There's a Forge. The component is on Forge as well. If anyone wants to have more data, there's demo videos available. And we really appreciate your time today. And we hope we were able to bring some productive information that can help in your OutSystems journey. Over to you, Aaron, for Fun Kahoot.
All right. So I'll just share my screen to show the Kahoot ID, so you can get yourself set up whilst Cecilia works in the background to prepare your Kahoot.
And here's one I prepared earlier. Okay, it is loading. And I will share my screen. And I'm currently waiting for plays, but I'm about to share my screen. Window. Okay, and we're sharing.
I'm getting an error with the game pin.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Ignore the game pin. It changed the pin from when I tested it earlier. So the pin is now 9310313. And the moral of the story is don't test Kahoot before the event. Okay. So we've got one player. So the number is 9310313. And if you're not joining from your browser, you can join from your phone and just do the QR code thingy. It's 11 questions, and the prize is awesome OutSystems swag that I have none of, and I'm very disappointed about. I'm just going to have to find a way that I can get myself some swag, because I'm sending it to all you folks all the time, and I don't get none. Something a bit unfair in that equation.
So you're missing out.
Sorry?
You're missing out. I thought you had the swaggers.
And I really love, I've got an obsession with astronauts. If anyone who knows me, whenever they find a cute astronaut, they give it to me because I love them. Astronauts are the best. Okay, we've got 16 people. We're gonna begin. Let's start the game. Get your game face on. Concentrate. Some of this will go really quick. OutSystems Community Event. Come on. We've got to get some swag in your bag. Okay, when was OData created? This wasn't mentioned in today's talk, but you might know this if you're a super nerd, or you might just get lucky. Have your best guess. I love the Daggy music. It's so cool. Oh, wow. It's an even split. Look at that. 4, 4, 4, 4. And only 4 of you got it correct. Not at all surprising, because that is not common knowledge. Oh, we've got a leader in the house. Excellent. Now, I think that you were a previous winner as well. So let's see. What does OData stand for? Is it OutSystems Data or Data? What do you say, Data or Data? OutSystems Data Protocol, OutSystems Open Data Protocol, or Outsourced Data Protocol? And if you don't know this, I'm going to be very disappointed, because we should know what OData is. It's pretty important. Yay, 11 of you got it right. Open Data Protocol. Awesome. That's a good result. Sonia must have been very quick on the button, because speed does matter in Kahoot. It's not just correct answer, it's speed of reply. Who created the OData protocol? Was it Oracle, Microsoft, OutSystems, or Apple? Who was paying attention in Joel's talk? Very dramatic. How many right answers will we get? Who was sleeping at the wheel? We've got 11. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Microsoft, of course it was Microsoft. They don't own the world anymore, though. They do have some competition. Cool Zero is coming up the ranks. Legend. Okay, great name. And Aisha's on fire. An API specifies how software components should interact with each other. True or false? It's a 50-50 chance of getting this one right, and I hope you get it right. We love APIs. APIs in the house. 14 got it right. Very good, very good. That's very much the majority. I like it, I like it. Correct answers only. Cool Zero is still at the top of the table. Aisha's still number 2. What is Power BI best used for? data staging, security, data visualization and dashboards, or storage. Ah, look at that. Everyone was quick on the spot. Everyone's getting onto the fast answers. Awesome. 16 correct. Of course, it's data visualizations. And that should be spelt with an S because we're in Australia. My bad. Okay. Cool Zero and Aisha still at the top. GQ's coming in third. Okay. What does the acronym REST stand for? I could do with a little rest myself. Representational state transform, representational state transfer, represent state transform, or represent state transfer. That's not at all confusing or at a tongue tie. Not at all. It's very easy to say very quickly, especially after 3 whiskeys. And it's blue, representational state transfer. We've got 9 correct answers in the house. What's happening to, oh, Coolio and Aish are still at the top, and I don't know who Hubway Connect is. Interesting name. Somebody clearly loves the product. Okay, fantastic. So what is the protocol used in REST? Is it FTP, JMX, HTTP, or SOAP? Who needs some SOAP? I hope that none of you have been doing enough excessive exercise today that you need SOAP. And we've got 14 correct answers. HTTP, yes. Go, 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 go team. And no change in the leaderboard. Wow, you guys are correct and fast. I think Cool Zero has the fastest finger in the bunch. The BI in Power BI stands for Business Information, Business Intelligence, Business Insider, or Beautiful Insights. Yay, we got a majority rules. 15 points on Business Intelligence, which is correct. Scoreboard, not changing. I have never seen such steady scores in this game. Wow, we've got some seriously smart people with fast fingers. In which year did Microsoft release Power BI as a standalone product? 2009, 2011, 2013, and 2015. Have your best guess, or do you actually know? Oh, only 4 of you got it right, and I bet you they were all guesses. 2015. It's later than you think. It's newer than you think. Oh, Cool Zero's still there, but Craig's coming up the rear. Fantastic. 2 questions to go. What is Hubway Connect? An API used to create user records in OutSystems, a data analytics solution, a connected to extract data out of OutSystems apps, a data analytics visualization tool. There's no guesses in this one, you should know. Yes, and 11 of you got it correct. It's a connector to extract data out of OutSystems, and that's the beauty of its simplicity. And the scores, oh, Hubway Connect is coming back into 3rd place. We've still got Craig in number 2 and Cool Zero number 1. This one's going to be the make it or break it. In what year was Hubway Connect launched as a standalone product? Is it 2019, 2020, 2021, or 2022? Who knows? I don't know if it was mentioned in the talk. May or may not have been. And 10 of you were correct with 2022. This year, it's a very, very new product. Okay, who is? Christian is in 3rd place. Fantastic. Then we've got Craig. And then we've got, I'm going to sing it's Cool Zero. Oh, Hubway Connect. Wow, we've got a late winner. That's incredible. Fantastic. I don't know who that is, but.
It's a big turn. I was expecting Cool Zeros up.
I hope you enjoyed all of that and learning how enabled you can be as OutSystems developers. It's good to see a lot of familiar faces again. Thank you so much for dialing in, and we'll see you next time at the OutSystems User Group. See you later. Take care.